Hi guys, ArchieLuxury, and who do I recommend in America? In America, who do I recommend for quality pre-owned wristwatches? David SW, David SW, David SW. Go to davidsw.com. He is the best, the greatest pre-owned dealer in all of the United States of America. David SW, David SW, David SW. Hi guys, it's your partner, ArchieLuxury, and today I'm doing this is actually a bit of advice. Someone asked me for advice. You know guys, I do advice as well as doing paid reviews. You could ask me advice, and today's question, I thought it was so good I would turn it into a video. This is paid review. Well, it's not a paid review, it's advice, but it's booking number 21QB114. Quick wristwatch check. I'm wearing Rolex Explorer 2. Rolex Explorer 2, 42 mil. Love it. Love this watch. Okay, here we go here. Advice. Hi, Paul. I've sent you $25 for an email advice. I am looking to make a down payment on a home. We all have things, big things that come up. I have a growing family and I already exhausted savings and loans from family. Should I sell Explorer 39 mil, Explorer 1 39 mil, and the DateJust 41 to get the funds I need? If so, should I sell myself? If so, should I sell myself or look for alternative means? I have sold Rolexes before and deeply regretted it. However, I still have 3 more. Don't want a video, just some advice. I'm sure you've been down a similar path. Okie dokie. So what do I think here? Look guys, you know what? At the end of the day, a watch is a watch. It's, I mean, these are things we buy, and at times we sell. You really can't be too hard on yourself there. One of the most important relationships you ever have is the relationship you have with yourself. And you've got to look at these situations instead of beating yourself up and saying, I was a dummy to sell this, or I shouldn't have done that. You know what? I've looked at things I've sold in the past, and the way I look at it is, you make the best decision at the time. In hindsight, you might regret it. Of course, circumstances reveal their truer meaning. But I got to be totally honest with you. In life, we sometimes need to get funds. We need to buy a reliable car. We need to pay certain bills. And, you know, it is very, very hard when we have to sell the possessions we love. But life is not always fair. Life ain't always fair. What I would generally say is, if you are selling some watches because you have something you need to pay for. I mean, look, let's be honest there. A down payment on a home. I got to be totally honest with you. Sometimes you can get a number of things you can do. Do you have to put 20% down? Maybe 10% is fine. Can you number of ways to skin a cat there. Can you perhaps lend the money and put it back? You know, sometimes having the watches is still something you could sell if you got into deep water. And at the end of the day, you can only make the best decision at the time. Now, as for selling Rolex, I got to tell you, I've come to the realization I would try and avoid it. The market is so difficult. It's easy to sell them. It's hard to get them back. My general advice is, if at all possible, sell other brands, other watches before you actually sell Rolex, because Rolex is the best store you can have there. So my advice is, you asked me the question, look, should I sell a DateJust 41 and a Explorer? What I would say is, if you had to decide between the two, I would always keep Steel Sports over dress watches. Steel Sports Rolex is the best thing to keep. If you had a choice of either keeping the Explorer 1 39mm or the DateJust, I would let the DateJust go. That's correct. I would let the DateJust go. Steel Sports Rolex is incredibly hard to get. And I've got to tell you, at the end of the day, if you really do need the funds, by all means, sell them. These are mass-produced goods, and you can only really try your best. That is all any of us could do there. My advice, if you need the funds, you don't need to explain what you need to do with the funds. If you need the money, I would try and hang on to the Explorer, sell the DateJust. The DateJust, a great watch. It's a Rolex. It's fantastic. I think the Steel Sports are going to be harder to get in the long run, and it's going to be harder to replace it. The 39mm Explorer 1 is particularly hard to get because it was discontinued for the 36mm. So the Explorer 1s, they've had a phenomenal explosion. So if you were lucky, I've owned one and foolishly sold it. But you know what? It's like many things in life. If the biggest regrets you have at the end of the day are a few watches you sold, well, you haven't really got that bad problems, have you? If that's your biggest regret. So I gotta tell you, Rolex is a great store of value. I would even think outside the box. You know, I would even say Rolex is such a good store. You could always use a bit of credit card money, and if you really was stuck, you could pay it back by the Rolex sale, which would alleviate that problem. Myself, I think it's always good for a man to have a good watch. In fact, I've had some money problems. I had a beautiful 3 or 4-piece Rolex collection, and I got to tell you, I had a gold day-date with diamond factory dial. I had an Explorer 2 Polar and a Submariner and also a DateJust. Well, you know what happened. First thing I sold off was actually the DateJust. I thought, you know what, it was two-tone, it was a 16013 R serial number, and I thought, let's get rid of that first, because that's the least valuable of them, and it was the one I was least attached to. So then I really thought to myself, I needed more money. Get rid of the day-date. It brought in a lot of money because it's 18 karat with factory diamond dial. And then I had the Explorer and the Sub left. And I got to be honest with you, in some ways, I wish I would have just said, look, I'm keeping those two. That's it. I'm keeping those two. I think that would have been a much more sensible thing to do. But I didn't. I sold them. And when I got rid of the last watch, which was the Polar, it was a 40mm Polar Explorer 2, I really felt down because I loved my watches, and not having it, having had, it's worse to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all. And I got to tell you, sometimes in life, just keep one, unless it's really, really desperate, unless if you owe money to the mafia or they're going to take your house. I would just hang on to one, because things normally are never that desperate. And one nice watch, man, it just gives you a bit of an up as a man, and it helps you deal with all the shit that life throws at you. So I got to be totally honest with you. You say there you have, however, I still have 3 more. You haven't mentioned what those 3 other ones are. But I would generally say I'd get rid of precious metal first, then I'd get rid of DateJust, and then the last to go would be Steel Sports. Steel Sports Rolex would be the least, that's the ones I would least want to part with. So I hope that gives you a bit of help there. I hope that gives you a bit of guidance. And I hope you solve your money problems. Remember, we've all been there. You can always sell the Rolexes later. They're like currency. So don't be in a hurry to sell. Don't be a worrywart. Have some faith in you. Have some faith in yourself. And I'm sure you'll get there. Okay, guys, like, subscribe, and tell your friends. Don't be afraid to put some comments below, guys. Have you ever been really stuck financially and had to sell your Rolex? Let me know in the comments below. Guys, I can't survive on Google Ads. Look down below in the description. I do advice and paid reviews. Get some advice from me. It helps me because I can't survive on Google Ads alone. Please, guys, take a look and see if you can benefit by talking to your pontiff. Hey guys, check out one of my best friends, Jamie Opulence, on YouTube. Just go to Jamie Opulence on YouTube. A fantastic channel from my good friend Jamie. Check it out, guys. Hey guys, ArchieLuxury. Guys, I want to introduce a new service to you. ValueYourWatch.com. Proud supporters of ArchieLuxury. No seller's fees, no buyer's fees. That's right, guys. This is a trading platform to buy or sell watches. You can start selling for free. That's right. We advertise our paying for our paying subscribers on Google, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. It's a global platform. That's right, guys. Get $50 off the annual subscription by applying the coupon Archie when you check in there. But guys, you can try this for free straight away. Guys, you can start listing watches. ValueYourWatch.com. Give it a try and tell me what you guys think of that.
Feeling me, enemy. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. Feeling me, enemy. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. Feeling me, enemy. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me.
Like, subscribe, and tell your friends, and don't be afraid to get a paid review. $50 for a paid review. It helps me stay full-time on YouTube, and I will see you in the next one. $50 paid review. I can't survive on Google Ads. I need your support. And guys, you could also sponsor me on Patreon. Patreon allows you to pay as little as $1 a month to keep me on YouTube. Hey guys, ArchieLuxury. Who do I recommend for watches in Brisbane and Sydney? Vintage Watch Co. That's correct. Vintage Watch Co. in Brisbane Arcade in Brisbane and the Strand Arcade in Sydney. Vintage Watch Co. Brisbane and Sydney. Ronnie, I've known him since the late 90s. Ronnie is a top bloke. Luke is a great guy. Vintage Watch Co. That is who I recommend in Australia. Check out Vintage Watch Co. and the guys' amazing range of watches. They also do service and repairs. Vintage Watch Co. That is where the pontiff goes. You know, some of my Pateks came from Vintage Watch Co. That's right, guys. Vintage Watch Co.